some of South Africans are upset because of the new Home Affairs is ruling a new constitutional right about people to acquire dual citizenship as South Africans, because this it has been on hold for some years. I don't know how many years. If you know, you're South African. I'm not. You can drop a comment below. But this is bringing a lot of controversy moments because many local South Africans, especially the people of color, like the white South Africans, they are complaining and saying that this right of South Africans have dual citizenship, it's only there to favoring white South Africans, which is I do believe is true. But some other people are saying the people that live in South Africa, the people that are living in the country, they really don't know, they don't understand how important this, how critical it is for them, because they're South Africans outside of South Africa. They've been living in the foreign countries for over 10 years, like over 5 years. And by law, if you are legally in the country over 5 years, you should be at least running for citizenship of a country or just a permanent resident, which is totally different in South Africa. I've been in South Africa for 13 years, but it hasn't happened yet. It's totally different. My friends are in Germany, in some other places like US and stuff. After 3 years, bro, I mean, you are in a good way. So let me let us play Newsroom and hear what she had to say.
Welcome back. You're still watching Newsfeed PM, the late edition. So, Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber has welcomed a Constitutional Court ruling regarding without express permission from the minister. The DA approached the court seeking confirmation. Now, Schreiber says an online portal should be ready by the end of the month to assist those affected by the law. Of course, to get more on this, we are joined in studio by a DA national spokesperson, Willie Okamp, and also to give us the immigration professional perspective, we're joined by immigration expert Craig Smith, who joins us via video link. Gentlemen, a good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Willie, I'll let you go first. Reaction to the ruling coming out of the Concord. I'm sure, of course, you welcome it as a party.
Yeah, the Democratic Alliance definitely welcomes this. This has been the culmination of a legal battle that lasted for 10 years, where the Democratic Alliance fought for the rights of citizens not to lose their citizenship. As you rightly said, when people became citizens of another country as well, they then automatically lost their citizenship. And if you look at Section 20 of the Constitution of South Africa, it protects people from not losing their citizenship. And we brought that application already 10 years ago. And today we have been victorious in the Constitutional Court. This is a victory for every South African because it confirms our right to be citizens of this wonderful country. Yeah. And if you look at the fight that we had to fight in this.
First of all, let's stop over there. I know you are South Africans. You watching AMKA Podcast. Thank you so much. If you're new here, please smash that button, subscribe, activate the bell notification so you cannot miss my video every single day. But I'm about to tell you this. There is two things here. As a non-South African living in South Africa, right? I know some people acting with feeling, which is, it's good. I mean, it shows the patriotism of the country that you're living in, your country, right? But in a certain way, it depends with the level. It depends with the frequency of what you're doing. And somehow I'm about to say that the people that travel a lot outside of South Africa, they know the value of this. And you that's never travel outside of South Africa, you really don't know the value of this. Okay, don't get me wrong. What I'm about to say is that there are some people that they are binational. They have two parents. My parents is from here, and my parents from here. What about if somebody? I'm gonna give you an example. Like the biggest artist in South Africa, Cassper Nyovest, his grandparents came from Malawi. DJ Spoo, his parents came from Mozambique. There are plenty. If I started to tell you the names, and you won't even be surprised, right? So, what about people like that? I mean, they have the right of obtaining another citizenship, or they don't have the right to obtain another citizenship. So, people in South Africa are do complaining about this, but let's just watch till the end, and then I'll tell you why you shouldn't be complaining about this. But at least you have to understand where it goes, and also there is another frustration because it's benefiting who? I'll tell you.
It's unfortunate. We have been opposed by every single previous Minister of Home Affairs, the latest being the previous Minister of Home Affairs, Minister Aaron Motsoaledi, who tooth and nail fought this, whereas they should have fought for the protection of a person's right to be a citizen. Can you just imagine having maybe immigrated to another country, your children are here or your parents are still here, and one day you woke up to just realize that you are no longer a citizen of this country.
Yeah, making any sense. It doesn't make any sense. That's what I was telling. Your father, like right now, there are people that are working for ASCOM, they are Belgians, like expatriates, right? They are here in South Africa. So if you started to track the moment that we started to have load shedding in South Africa up to now, they are regulating the load shedding process. It's now like they are maintaining their work, and they are expatriate. They're expats. So I'm gonna give you an example. Like a South African go to Belgium, and then there's some certain requirement that he has to fulfill there in Belgium, either to have a resident permanent, or become a Belgian citizen, and boom, there we are. He's becoming a Belgian citizen. And then you are about to telling me if he becomes one, then automatically he's gonna have to lose his South African citizenship, or just he's gonna lose to be a South African? Number one, it ain't making any sense to me because it's unfair. It's really unfair, right? But you also got to understand that the mentality of the people. And also, the reason why they fight is because those who are on another level, they will benefit more from it. And those who are not on the same level with those that are working away, they are not benefiting from it. So I really don't know too much about the oldest stories about being a South Africans, like the laws and stuff like that. I only know about the foreign and the kids because myself, I'm involved in that. But it just doesn't sound right to me, right? I'm thinking about those people that are away. I'm thinking about those people that they have two parents, like, and there are plenty. If you started to test people's DNA in South Africa, you will find there are a lot of people just like that.
When you come here, you've got to do it on a visitor's visa or get permission to do that. So it's just so wrong what happened, and we are very glad from the Democratic Alliance side that we were victorious in this case.
Yeah, it's interesting because it brings about the debate, and one wonders if it's almost a discussion around patriotism and a test to one's just how patriotic they are. But Craig, perhaps you can help us out here, right? Just the numbers of South Africans that would have been impacted, and I know that the DA certainly has touched on it, is saying, I think you said it was just about 2 million South Africans living abroad who were affected by the law. You can help us with those numbers as well, Craig. But what the process would have looked like and why this was an important step for the process in and of itself to face a legal challenges that go all the way up to the Con Court.
So, first of all, the reason why DA was fighting for this so much, I do understand, and this is what brings the frustration to the Black and colored South African community that live in South Africa, and the majority of the people that never had opportunity to be in some foreign countries or living abroad for at least 3 years and stuff like that, because it's kind of critical to understand that. But I also do understand them because as DA was fighting for this, that means the white majority of South Africans that are living in South Africa, South Africans, they are more I mean, they will benefit more than the rest of South African in this. I'll give you an example. I once worked for a company that I know people, they have citizenship from different places and they are born South African, white South Africans, but they have dual citizenship. And that made me think I'm not South African anyway, by the way, but that made me think like these people, they've got two countries already in their mind, right? That means like it's all about 50-50. Like if South African doesn't give me this, I don't care. Germany is gonna give me this. Switzerland is gonna give me this. Netherlands is gonna give me this. So you have a Netherlands citizenship, you have a German citizenship. There are plenty of French here in South Africa. There are Israeli in South Africa. They even went to fight in Israel. So my question is like, A is you are the court rule that you are allowed to have two citizenship, dual citizenship, but for you to acquire another one, you need to inform Home Affairs so Home Affairs can let you have it. So they can decide if they will allow you or they won't allow you. So my question, if you're watching this podcast, please let me know in the comments. For those people that went to fight in Gaza, the one that bombed Gaza and came back to South Africa, what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to them? Because this is where their concern come from and the frustration comes from because of things like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's what we're gonna have to talking about. And this is the Minister of Home Affairs, South African, Mr. Leon. He seems like a cool guy. I think I like him. I don't know what you guys saying. He's trying to develop the home affairs system of South Africa. He recently put some drones on South Africa's borders so illegal immigrant mustn't come. But I thought that was like a waste of money because I've been to South African borders and I've seen that. I've seen it. Like not just like the people that are jumping borders, but the corruption that has been going to the borders. It's ridiculous. I think putting drones is good. I mean, satisfying people that are working for you, that's even better.
Hi, it's Leon Schreiber here, the Minister of Home Affairs, with some important news today relating to a Constitutional Court judgment. The Constitutional Court confirmed an earlier ruling by the Supreme Court of Appeal that Section 61A of the South African Citizenship Act is unconstitutional. This section previously required that a South African citizen who obtained citizenship in another country first had to obtain permission from the minister if they wanted to retain their South African citizenship. And if they didn't, they would automatically lose their citizenship. The court's judgment unanimously ruled.
So you're gonna have really to let Home Affairs if you wanted to acquire another citizenship. So the question that will be asking you, you still want to hold the South African citizenship or no? And if yes, why do you want to get another citizenship? So they will check all the stats, like the datas and everything, like who you are, why do you need this, why you don't need this, you know what I'm saying? Because of like something that's happening in Palestine with these Israeli South Africans and stuff like that. So a lot of people are criticizing this move, but for me, as a foreign that been living in South Africa for 14 years, a decade and 4 years, I got kids in South Africa. I think my kids are by far, whether South African like it or not, my kids are by far binational because the day they will be going to my home country, I mean, the passports are already ready over there. And if they come here, they're South African. So, I mean, they're there. So for me, I'm not just talking about that, but I'm talking about the binational in general. But the white people that are living in South Africa, those who always wanted to have dual citizenship, that's the cheat code. And this is why a lot of people are complaining. I don't know what you guys are saying, but I'm gonna read the comment for you and see how people on Facebook. I saw it was scandal. People were fighting, right? On YouTube, I see people like that watching YouTube. They are more abroad, watching news from home. TikTok, anything is possible. That's what they call tous les coups sont permis en français, in French. On TikTok, everything is possible.
That this is unconstitutional, and this brings finality now to this legal question. The Department of Home Affairs is committed to upholding this judgment. We will be studying it to see whether there are any implications for legal amendments, but more immediately, we are building an online portal that will enable anyone who believes they've been adversely affected by this practice to obtain confirmation of the reinstatement of their South African citizenship. Important to emphasize that this only applies to people who may have lost their citizenship after the 6th of October 1995. We are hard at work to make sure that we roll out this portal as soon as possible. We'd like to do it by next month already, but we will keep the public informed. This is a key way that we can restore the dignity of South Africans who have lost their citizenship through this unconstitutional provision.
It's really a key way. You go to Australia for 5 years, 7 years, boom, you lost your South African citizenship. So this is comment number 1. I'm gonna have to find a comment. Leon Schreiber is not that popular, so let me just see what people saying. They're ruling by the Concords that provides opportunity to restore the dignity of South African who unconstitutionally lost their citizenship after 6 October 1995. Home Affairs is already working to build an online portal for those affected to confirm citizenship reinstatement, South Africa. Okay, I have not seen you reaffirming that you will also give the citizenship of the kid being born in South Africa. Being born in most countries doesn't give you automatic citizenship. Just to answer that question, if you are a foreign, your kids are born in South Africa after 18 years, they have the right to acquire South African citizenship if they prove they were born in South Africa and stuff like that. How about us with Zeb? In this, she what I mean. In 2028, asked for permission to keep my South African passport, and I was given permission in writing. I tried to renew my passport in 2025. I was told I could be a dual citizen, even though I had permission. Why you don't give for African brothers and sisters asylum? We are struggling. I've been a South African citizen for 45 years with an ID number for many years, but not born here. I lost my green ID book, and I'm still not allowed to get a smart ID card like so many citizens. When will be this done? But does it mean they're allowed to vote on both countries? Of course, they are allowed to vote in both countries. So this is the question people are trying to find out. So, guys, this is it. I don't know if you're South African. Let me know in a comment if is this a good or a bad move. But for me, I am neutral. I am neutral. Yeah, but people should be questioned whether you want to acquire another citizenship, for what reason, for what purposes. If you, I mean, circumstances are always different, right? And people really need to understand who need it and who doesn't need it. If it's a purpose of going killing people like the Israeli that went kill people in Gaza, then I mean, just cancel them one time. They don't deserve to be South African. Right? Yeah, that's it for today. Please, if you're new here, smash that button, subscribe, activate the bell notification. You can binge watching my podcast playlist If you just go to my playlist and you can watch some interesting video, you can get informed, you can get enlightened, and then you can get entertained. And I'ma see you in the next video. Please activate that bell notification so you cannot miss one of my episodes every single day. Cheerio.